Alright guys, I know it's been a while, but back again with another quick repair video. So this is my fuse box. I guess Nissan calls it like the IPDM. And I'm replacing it today because I'm having hard to start, no crank issues in the morning. So it just won't crank, it won't do anything. And I finally figured out what it was, so I decided to share with you guys. So this is it. And I'll give you guys a description later, and I'll show you guys how it starts once I'm finished. Pretty much you take the two 10s off. There's one here for the coolant reservoir. Kick it off to the side. The cover just comes right off. Over here, there's just another clip that you have to get off right here. Work. Alright. Then that comes off, and then pretty much you just disconnect, and the new one is plug and play, and it costs about $275 with 2 days shipping. So anyhow, I'll explain it more once I get finished changing it. I guess I can show you guys this too. So it just dropped in there, and then it slides right out. Super simple. And then you just disconnect. So pretty much the issue was that internal to here, I was having to wrap a blanket on this side of the engine, so the serpentine belt side, washer fluid, coolant reservoir side, and I was doing that every morning, probably in about 42 degree weather, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less over here in California, and I would have a no crank condition. So I would turn the key, everything would power up. I checked my 12-volt battery. I had 12.51 volts in the morning. The starter was good because I replaced it like 3 weeks prior to the weather getting cold, and it just wouldn't crank. And then I would come out around 9 a.m. after I was late to work, and it would start up and it would crank. So finally I looked at the wiring diagram and saw where everything led back to, and it was to this, what Nissan calls, I believe, IPDM, but it's just a fuse box. So something internal to here, just after 15 years of vibration and expanding, contracting with heat from the engine and cold from the weather, I think something internal, just two contact points, might have gone bad on the ignition side. But yeah, that's pretty much the long and the short of it. I wrapped it up in a blanket one morning because I had a feeling it had to do with temperature, especially after looking at the wiring diagram. And yeah, after I wrapped it in a blanket for 2 days, it started perfectly in the morning. I knew that it was time for this bad boy to get replaced. Alright, moment of truth. Let me bring you guys into my world here. IPDM replacement because of cold weather, no crank issues. There you go. So this is the old one. I'll tear it apart and figure out what went on inside of it later, but anyhow, we're running, just replaced up a radiator hose. The starter's new, battery's fairly new. I dumped that coolant from the overflow when I was doing the IPDM, but yeah, that's pretty much it. This right here cuts back in pretty easily, and she's good. And I have a couple, I need this motor mount. Anyway, I won't bore you with that, but again, I'm addressing a no crank in cold weather issue, about 42 degrees. I'm assuming that if it goes less, then it'll probably be worse or more apparent. But enjoy, you guys. I hope I saved you guys some time, some money, and some headaches. IPDM fuse box replacement on a 2005 Nissan Altima 2.5S. Have a good one.